Hey, welcome back. Riggs here. Wednesday means Snapshot, and I started today on my little Snapshot survival world, which I've been having a good time with. Deep into the Nether and found this crazy twisted vine, which is kind of like a fun combination of vines and scaffold. But also found some Nether Gold, which is kind of a nice new source of gold, but kind of a nice little decorative building block as well. But the real reason I'm bringing you to my survival world is because one of the major changes in this snapshot seems to be a fixed bug, which up until now we had been able to take advantage of this kind of redstone magic zero tick technology, which maybe you're familiar with. But all of these crops, as well as bamboo and chorus fruit, which I still don't have in my survival world, were able to be convinced to grow super quick by updating the block underneath them with a zero tick thing. If you don't know about it, well, maybe it's too late anyway, but yeah, it's kind of a way of farming these crops super quick, and that is going to be going away. So if you have those farms set up, make good use of them while you can, because that was an unintended feature that has now been fixed. All right, the snapshot is out, and as you can see, there are a few new blocks and some big changes, which I will tell you about. But first, I wanted to show you that this new netherite, or nether gold, not netherite, nether gold will now be able to be mined with any kind of pick. But then you just get a few gold nuggets for it. You will need to use a silk touch pick in order to get that as a block, which I kind of prefer it as a building block, personally. And then basalt. This is what it looks like when you mine it up, and it is a non-directional block, meaning that you can't, you can't position it. Oh, that is new. You can position it in different ways now, but they have changed it so that when you cook it up, you get this great new block, which is kind of like looks like a petrified tree almost, but it's also directional, which is great. Kind of yet another gray block to build with, so that's kind of fun. I switch into creative mode for this. This is kind of a big change too. Now when you use bone meal on the warped nylium or the crimson nylium, you will get these things. I bone mealed already, but these are basically the saplings for the new tree types, which were tradable with the hoglins or the piglins rather, for a little while, and then were not. So this change makes them renewable again, which is great. So, but now let's talk about this thing here. This is kind of crazy. The way you make it, it's called a respawn anchor, and it uses the new crying obsidian and some glowstone, and you get one of these things. And it's just a cool looking block, first of all. But what it is, it's a way of setting your spawn in the nether. It's a nether bed. Doesn't look very comfortable, but the way you use it is, let me switch into survival again, is by right clicking on it with glowstone, and you'll see the little icon switch up, and it charges basically. Each time you click on it, it gives you one respawn. So every time you die, you will respawn right there, and it will use up a little bit of that each time. I guess it'll unfill as you use up the respawn ability. So I think that's pretty cool. Be able to have an entirely nether-based world. You won't ever really have to go to the overworld, I guess, if you want to. And then another little change is that they were like, oh yeah, sponges. So they added hose to the sponge. Basically, that's the required tool now to mine sponges, and wet sponges too. And then the other huge change, I've already mentioned the zero tick stuff, but fishing farms. Now, in order to get treasure loot, and that means, all the good stuff, you'll have to be fishing in open waters, and there are some rules. Let me get those. I'll read them to you. One sec. I thought it appropriate to come back to my survival world and say goodbye to my fishing farm, but it now is going to be matching whether the fishing location is open water fishing or not. I'm reading now. A fishing location is considered to be open water if there are no blocks above water and no solid underwater blocks around. All water blocks are source blocks, and there are no bubble columns. So if you can decipher that, you might be able to come up with some other fishing farm kind of way of doing it, but it looks like you're going to have to be fishing in open water in order to get all the good stuff, which quite frankly I think is really a good call, because fishing farms have been super OP for a long. I'm still attached to my fishing farm. They've been really overpowered for a long time. They let you kind of skip a lot of the early games, so I think it's a great change. Get rid of these kind of they're kind of weird mechanics, and so a little bit more manual playing I think is a good way to go. Still attached to my fishing farm. Leave me alone. But I think I'm going to leave it there. There are a bunch of other bugs, but those were the ones that really stood out. And so, as always, I like to try to get these to you as quick as possible and not take too long to give you all the information you need. So anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed. Hope you guys are doing okay. Take care of each other. Love you.